Layering Reports, the Executive Summary by Zachary Koppelman. The second layer of report is the Executive Summary. As the name suggests, the Executive Summary is a summary of the entire report. It is different from an abstract because the Executive Summary needs to be a standalone document. It is for your boss's boss or higher. As such, an executive should only have to read the Executive Summary to make informed decisions regarding the findings of the report. For the majority of the time, an executive summary should only be a page long. There are times an executive summary might be longer, but that will only occur for extremely large reports or investigations. Even though the executive summary is the second layer of a report, it should be written last. It is not possible to accurately summarize everything within a report until the report is finished. Otherwise, any changes to the report would require rewriting the executive summary. Writing it last saves time, effort, and helps prevent errors. Here is a way of envisioning an executive summary. Directly and clearly state the purpose of the report. This should be the very first sentence. Explain the procedures used to fulfill the purpose. Keep this fairly short. 1 to 2 sentences should be enough. Logically present the results. This will be the majority of the summary. Here it is important to order the information in a way that leads the reader through the project. It is not enough to provide numerical data and assume the reader can, or will, infer the connections or implications of the data. Directly and clearly state the conclusions. This should be the very end of the summary, and it is best as a single sentence. Each component needs to be precise and direct. A reader should be able to fully understand the motivation of the project, the major aspects of the project, and the results of the project from only reading the executive summary. They need the key facts, particularly the results and conclusions, clearly stated and logically arranged. A poorly written executive summary can cost companies millions of dollars and dozens of jobs. Next is an example executive summary. Please be aware that this sample is from a specific course at Purdue University. Therefore, some of the terminology is geared directly at those students. The objective of this project is to conduct an extensive study of bicycle high-end accessory market and identify potential new product areas which so promise for future development. To accomplish this objective, we conducted a customer survey, studied novel bicycle patents, researched the current bicycle accessory market, and tested the top competitive products. Results of this research were used to identify the most critical customer requirements and key benchmarks for use in completing a house of quality. The house of quality was used to develop specific engineering targets for each of the key customer requirements which would be necessary to have an economically viable product. Results of the background research indicate that the top 3 customer requirements were smooth ride, increased control, and higher efficiency. Representative customers were willing to spend between $200 and $300 for a bicycle accessory that would meet their needs. Through our market survey, we discovered that the current bicycle market is steady, with over 11 million units sold per year. Roughly 69% of this market is mountain and hybrid bicycles. A review of the competitive products indicated that there were 3 top benchmarks: the Searcher Ranger from Schwinn, the Sully from SoftRide, and the Trek 6500 SHX from Trek. Based on this research, we would recommend pursuing the development of a full suspension accessory, which could be fully integrated with a conventional mountain bike design. To meet desired customer requirements, the dampening ratio of the suspension should be at least 0.5 to provide improved ride comfort and control. And an on-the-fly lockout device should be devised for the suspension to prevent loss of riding efficiency during climbing. We estimate that we can acquire a market share of 5% among customers ages 25 to 44 purchasing mountain bikes. This is approximately 16,000 units per year. In summary, our background research has shown a promising niche market in a low-cost, full suspension accessory which meets customer needs in 3 key areas: smooth ride, increased control, and higher efficiency. We would strongly recommend continued funding of the project into Phase 2 concept generation evaluation to better test the viability of such a product. This example closely follows the 4 points of envisioning an executive summary. It directly and clearly states the purpose of the report in the first sentence. A reader would not need any further information to understand the general idea and point of the report. It explains the procedures used to fulfill the purpose. Surveyed customers, studied novel bicycle patents, researched the current bicycle accessory market, and tested the top competitive products. It explains the results in a logical manner, highlighting differences that are important for understanding the results, benchmarks, price ranges, and estimated sales. It directly and clearly states the conclusion in the last 2 sentences. There is no doubt of the recommendation: continue the project. Executive summaries are complex and multi-layered. To fully understand how they work, understanding how each of the 4 points is fulfilled requires closer examination. The next vidcast will divide this sample into sections and examine them one at a time. If you have any questions, please talk to your TA. This has been Layering Reports, the Executive Summary by Zachary Koppelman, in cooperation with the Purdue Online Writing Lab and prepared for the Mechanical Engineering Writing Enhancement Program.